So, today's video is pretty much a follow-up of my last video where I explained how many Saint Quartz we can save till anniversary. This is kind of a follow-up wherein instead of starting from New Year's, we are starting from February 26th. The reason why I say February 26th is because that is the last day of the Valentines banners on the English server. So, assuming that you do summon on the Valentine's Day's banners and then you end up with 0 Saint Quartz, this is pretty much going to give you an idea of how many Saint Quartz you'll have by Lost Belt 6, the start of Lost Belt 6, or by anniversary. I have made a few assumptions. So, for example, here we are assuming that all of the events will be crammed before anniversary. So, this is assuming that there will, because there are two events that could possibly be moved. It could either be Summer Rerun or Nero Fest. So, I have just made an assumption that none of them are going to be moved, but it's still possible that one of the events, or maybe both, or whatever, there's still a chance that could be moved, but I have made the assumption that they're just going to be basically crammed before anniversary, since we do get anniversary a bit earlier. And then I have 3 different data. So we have JP, and then the Korea JP, we're pretty much using the existing dates that happened in JP. For the Korea server estimates, it's based on the roadmap that was showed to us, and then for the English server, I made my estimates based on, normally we have anniversary on the first week of July. We kind of almost expect it to be during or to coincide with the Anime Expo. So that kind of gives us a general idea of when we will be getting the anniversary. There are a few things I did not, I did not count the countdown to Lost Belt 6 rewards, because the first part, starting from February 26th, there are 4 weeks left of that countdown, and each week gives 1 Saint Quartz. That's 4 Saint Quartz. We're not really sure if we will be getting a part 2. And then we still might get a survey, because normally every year we're supposed to be getting a survey. And that gives us 4 summit tickets, but yet we haven't had any. JP just recently got it, so we might assume that we might be getting it at the end of the month, maybe, to give them time to go over the data from the JP survey, and then they will give out the English server survey. But we're not really sure if they will, when. So we'll see, I guess. But, I guess you could just keep these in mind, that there's a possibility we could get 4 summon tickets. And we should be getting 4 Saint Quartz because of Countdown to Lost Belt 6, but I just didn't include it here because I was lazy to add it to the Excel file, which I have here. Although it's not really nice looking at this, so I condensed down everything to a neat table. But before I get to that, as mentioned, the Korea server did give a roadmap for the first half of the year, which is pretty much this screen shows the months of April, May, and June. If you haven't watched my previous video on this, a lot of people have been worried about LB6 arriving really early, because based on this timetable, LB6 Part 1 will arrive in April, at the end of April, but I feel like this is too early. We're basically a month behind the Korea server, so I don't think we would be following this schedule. But anyways, so if you look at the leftmost column, you'll see here a bunch of dates. So I have the JP server dates. So February 26th to June 11. June 11 is when LB6 Part 1 starts in the JP server. And then for the Korea server, I just made an estimate that, April 23, which is the last week of April, well, Sunday, like the last Sunday of, no, not really last, but last week of April, where possibly they will get Lost Belt 6. And if we follow, which some people have been worried that we might follow the Korea server schedule, I just indicated it there, but I don't think we will be following that schedule, because I think we will be getting LB6 around the last week of May. So I made it in May 28, which just happens to be my birthday. So as you can see here, I have divided it into like weekly mission St. Quartz. So every week you get 3 St. Quartz worth in fragments, as long as you do all of the weekly missions. Then if you log in every day, you get a bunch of St. Quartz. And then the 50-day login tickets. The login tickets is basically every 7th day of the week you get a summon ticket. And then Da Vinci Shop tickets, so every month reset you get 5 summon tickets in the Da Vinci Shop. And then the last 2 columns are pretty much, as I mentioned earlier, we will assume that they will cram all of the events to be before, they will just cram all of the events, so we will get them eventually. So that's why they're all the same, regardless of when we will get it. So it just means that we will just, if we follow the Korea schedule, like all the events will pretty much be crammed into March and April. But I feel like they won't necessarily do that. They'll make it a bit early, but not as early as that, where we will get LB6 in April, and I feel like we're really going to be getting it in May. So now if you look at that, we do get quite a lot. There are some things that you may not notice, like the 50-day login. For the Korea server, you only get 30 St. Quartz because of the 50-day login. The English server, I have marked here only 30 St. Quartz, but like you would be at around 4 to 5 days away from getting the next 30 St. Quartz from the 50-day login. So you can just keep that in. So if we total up everything, in the JP server, we get 327 St. Quartz and 47 summon tickets. That will basically give us 171 summons. This is already including the bonus summons you get for every 10 pulls. For the Korea server, if you were to follow the Korea server schedule, it would pretty much mean that we would only be able to get 123 summons. It's not a lot, right? And then with the English server, we would get around 147, which is a little less than halfway to pity in terms of summons that we would get. Assuming that if you start saving from Valentines, and then that Lost Belt 6 will begin in last week of May, yeah, you would be able to save up 147 summons by that point in time. Of course, another option you could do is like with the Morgan banner being the first banner, followed by Millicent, and then we would arrive at Anniversary with Koyanskaya, and then Oberon slightly after. So if you're going to be prioritizing Morgan, these are how many summons you would have. But if you want to know how many St. Quartz you have for Koyanskaya and for Oberon, I have also made that computation. But before we get to that, just giving a brief rundown on what are the anniversary rewards. This is based on what we get from JP, and of course, not all of it is guaranteed. If anything, the pre-stream present St. Quartz and the mainstream present St. Quartz, this remains to be seen if we will be getting the exact same number, but this pretty much is guaranteed to almost everybody. So that's quite a number of St. Quartz. That's like more than, let's see, that would be 228 St. Quartz. And then depending on how far you've cleared the main story, if you've cleared all the way till 5.5, that's an additional 20 St. Quartz. And then we have a bunch of new master missions. So depending on the master missions, if you've cleared it already, or if you even have like the number of servants to be able to meet those master mission clears, you'd get additional Saint Quartz. So like if you have completed 200 strengthening quests, that would be 60 Saint Quartz, and then 240 interludes would result in 20 more Saint Quartz. Free quests, as long as you've cleared all of the story and you also clear all of the free quests for the first time, that would be an additional 20 Saint Quartz that they will give you during Anniversary. Depending on which servants you have cleared interludes, they have increased the Saint Quartz rewards from 1 per interlude to 2. So if you have all of the servants, basically you're a whale. You can get up to 138 Saint Quartz, assuming you have cleared all of the interludes. And then there will be a memorial quest against Kirstaria, which gives you 1 Saint Quartz. So that's quite a number of Saint Quartz. And again, this is based on the JP server. Whether we get the same thing remains to be seen, but most likely it will be. The 6th anniversary, we basically start from February 26 all the way to July 4. Again, the reason why July 4 is because that's when Anime Expo is, and we usually have our anniversary to coincide with Anime Expo. So we have 57 summon tickets from, Saint Quartz from weekly missions, 73 Saint Quartz from login, and then 50-day login, you get that twice, so that's 60 Saint Quartz. Login tickets for 18 weeks, as long as you log in straight, 18 weeks. That's 18 summon tickets, and then the Da Vinci shop will be reset 5 times. That's 25 summon tickets. Okay, and then we see here the event Saint Quartz. This is from Summer Rerun, the Idol event, download campaigns, etc., etc. So it would be 196 Saint Quartz that we get from that. And then event tickets would be 28. Then the anniversary rewards. This is basically only the ones from just logging in, from the free, really freebies from just the anniversary itself. You could get more depending on how far you've gone through story or how far you have gone through your master missions, etc., etc. So you'd get 229 Saint Quartz and 28 summon tickets, right? So by the time anniversary drops, and you'd have wondering why it didn't want to work. So by the Koyanskaya banner, you should have, I guess it would really depend on how diligent you are with saving Saint Quartz. You should have 615 summon tickets by anniversary, 99 summon tickets, which would result to 334 summons, which is actually just enough to hit pity once. So, of course, you don't want to go all the way to pity, but at least, if you have to prioritize somebody, I'm sure a lot of people will say, prioritize Oberon. Oberon is going to be a while before he even gets another rerun, while Koyanskaya will get another rerun in New Year's. So it really depends on who you want to prioritize. For me, personally, I will be prioritizing Koyanskaya, but, I would like to be able to get both her and Oberon. And I have been saving since, November or October, of last year. So, but still, if you are gonna start from zero, starting this February 26th, again, February 26th is the last day of Valentines, the Valentines banner. So even if you go to 0, this is how many Saint Quartz you'll be able to save up. Summon tickets, which will result to 334 summons, which will be enough to at least get to 1. So, yeah. But, I hope you guys found that informative. Thank you for watching. And, if I have made any mistakes here, feel free to let me know in the comments. I feel like I might have, I might have made some mistakes somewhere with my computation. But yeah, till the next time, if you're watching this on the VOD YouTube, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!